Already in 1998, Busch Stadium has given Cardinal fans some magical moments in Cardinal baseball. Think back, opening day against the Dodgers, Mark McGwire's game-winning grand slam. The last time the Cardinals were on this field, Juan Acevedo slammed the door on the Phillies, and the Cardinals completed a 5-1 homestand. The Cardinals are happy to be back. The Cardinal fans will fill this stadium in anticipation of the Cardinals and Expos squaring off in Game 1 of this 3-game series. Fox Sports Midwest presents Cardinals baseball, brought to you by Budweiser. Brew Refresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. By Southwestern Bell, go wireless with someone you know. By Pizza Hut, home of the new Sicilian pizza. Can you handle it? By your local Dodge dealer, exclusive automotive dealer of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Midwest. And by Southwest Airlines, with fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. Fly Southwest, the official airline of the Cardinals. Coming up tonight, it's Mark McGwire and the St. Louis Cardinals taking on Carlos Perez and the Montreal Expos. We're glad you're with us. Baseball next on Fox Sports Midwest.
Well, welcome back to Busch Stadium. Both national anthems are over with, and it's my pleasure to bring in one of the good friends and longtime broadcaster of the Cardinals, almost 30 years now, Big Mike. Mike Shannon, how are you?
I've been around a long time.
You know, Mike, I tell you what, I want to ask you a question because I've heard in years past, and of course this was before you've had a chance to witness McGwire and maybe witness the expansion and less degree of pitching, but you said for many years that you didn't think anybody would ever be able to break Maris's home run record.
There's every reason in the world that they should break it, okay? The ball's livelier, the parks are smaller, the pitching's deleted, but there's one thing that they don't have that I think Maris had. He had about 4 things that pushed him to the point to get there. And I don't think that these players today, the ones that I see, and you know, they're 2 primary, Griffey and McGwire. There's no doubt either one of them can do it, and I think probably Mac more than Griffey, which is unusual because he's a right-handed batter rather than a left-handed batter. But this guy's unique in so many ways, and one way is that he's a low ball hitter from the right side, and that's very unusual.
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to ask you about Marrero. Obviously, just the routine physical in spring training, and they come up with, you know, his thyroid cancer, but did that send back any memories to you and scare you? Because back in 1970, you taking a physical that came up with your illness.
Well, that's the great thing about those physicals, and now they're so extensive, and they can find just about anything, and that's so wonderful. Here's something that might have been in this young man for years and years if he didn't have those physicals. So that's the great part about it. And you catch things young like he is, and you're so much better prepared.
All right. Mike, it's always a pleasure. Stay tuned. We're going to take a break now. We'll come back with Cardinal baseball, and we're going to see this great Cardinal offense right after this.
Awfully chilly, but we're here for baseball. The Montreal Expos and the St. Louis Cardinals. Game 1 of this 3-game series here on a cold Monday evening. We play Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon, and we are glad that you are with us on Fox Sports Midwest. Give you a look at our Dodge Key matchup as we prepare for tonight's game, and it's a rematch of a game that took place back in Montreal on this most recent road trip. Carlos Perez took on Donovan Osborne. There are their lines. Neither one was involved in the decision. That was the game that was won late by Montreal as the Cardinal bullpen gave up a late 1-run lead. So as Donovan Osborne prepares to take on these Montreal Expos, the Cardinals try to rebound from that 2-4 road trip. Try to get back to their winning ways when they had their last homestand end with 5 wins and only 1 loss. We take a look at the Southwest Airlines batting order for the Montreal Expos. They will lead it off with F.P. Santangelo, and the numbers for him leading off, followed by Mark Gressolonic, Vladimir Guerrero in right field with Rondell White in center, Shane Andrews at third base. They've moved Brad Fulmer down in the order with Jose Vidro at second, Chris Widger doing the catching, and Carlos Perez, a pretty good hitting pitcher, pitching and batting ninth. The look now at Cardinal left-hander making his 3rd start, Donovan Osborne.
He's making his 3rd start. First one was very good. The second one a little bit better. And I think it's time for Donovan to get in that win column and make him feel like he's really a part of this ball club.
There are the numbers for Donovan Osborne. The ERA over 5, but he's thrown the ball well. And we give you a look at the defense behind Osborne, highlighting the men on the corners, Gaetti and McGwire. And Gary Gaetti, as usual, is solid at third base. He is in to guard against the bunt as F.P. Santangelo leads it off. And we're underway on a Monday night. There's the bunt. Perfectly laid down. Osborne gives it a shot, throws it away. Santangelo will head for second, and that's where he will stop. And a slow start, to say the least, for the Cardinals. Perfect bunt, Al, laid down by Santangelo, and Donovan a little too hyped up, unleashing that wild throw.
Boy, that just you don't want to see that. Sometimes you just got to put it in your pocket, concede that it is an outstanding bunt, and give him the base hit. A little slow reacting was Donovan, and that is slides to get to it, but standing flat-footed just slings the ball. McGwire had no chance for it, and now he puts FP in scoring positions with the error.
Base hit E1, and now with a runner at second, nobody out, Gressolonic takes the ball low and away. Mark Gressolonic batting in that number 2 spot. He's picked it up of late, hitting .247. When the Cardinals were in Montreal, he was hovering around the 200 mark, and he hit a big home run against the Cardinals, his last that he has hit. He's knocked 3 over the boards this season. Right down the middle from Osborne, 1 ball, 1 strike. I heard that there is a 20-mile-an-hour wind blowing in from the east during tonight's game. Just to put a figure on it, but us broadcasters normally say the wind is whipping, or the wind is howling here at the ballpark. And it is. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gressolonic, good play by Donovan. Looks the runner back. Gressolonic didn't advance the runner, and he's the first out here in the 1st inning.
That away, Donovan. There are ways to try and counteract those guys in scoring position and keep them from advancing. A lot of times it's luck. We'll bounce it right back out there. All you have to do is stop that runner, and you still have time to go and record the out at first.
That's a big play for Osborne and the Cardinals. Now, in all likelihood, it would take a hit or something out of the ordinary. The Expos to get a run. Runner at second, 1 out now for Vladimir Guerrero. And a fastball is a strike from Donovan.
Exciting young player if he can just stay healthy.
Average up to .312, 3 homers, 7 RBIs for the season. Santangelo dancing around back at second base as Guerrero is jammed on a good pitch by Donovan. He comes up empty, strike 2.
To see that last pitch, how just effective it can be if you go up and in. It's like a solid footing there on the mound. Steve Peeler and his ground crew do an excellent job here, and of course this field drains extremely well.
0-2 the count. Runner at second, 1 out. And another jam shot pulled foul. Another good pitch from Donovan. That's a good indication, Al, of just how talented Guerrero is to get his hands out, get the bat head out, and get pretty good wood on that pitch inside on him.
Now you have to quicken up to almost fight that pitch off.
No balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second, 1 out. Guerrero trying to put Montreal on top in the first game of this 3-game series. Had him reaching for a changeup into right center for Jordan. Santangelo will stay put. He was there with nobody out. He's at second now with 2 down. And the batter will be Rondell White. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. A look at the flags out above the center field area here at the ballpark. Gusting to 30 miles per hour is the wind here tonight. And the ballpark, this is one of the smaller crowds, probably the smallest that we've had since the curtain came up on the 1998 season here at home. Here's Rondell White, and there's a strike. Rondell White is now in that cleanup spot. Was not hitting in this position when the Cardinals were up in Montreal. He's hitting .276. Trying to pick up F.P. Santangelo at second with 2 out. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, bouncing around back there, and Tom Pagnozzi did participate in 3 rehab games. He caught 2 of them and went 1 for 6 at the plate, Peoria. And Marrero was the guy that just kind of ignited the offense a little bit with a steal of third. Philly.
1 ball, 1 strike. White out in front of a changeup, strike 2. And Donovan Osborne is working his way around that leadoff bunt for the single, and then his error, which puts Santangelo down at second with nobody out. The numbers for White, who has been hot, and one of the reasons why he has moved into this cleanup spot. Runner at second, 2 out, the 1-2 pitch. Changeup fell into the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, good technique right there. And just notice the one thing that he did there correctly is you almost forget about the glove. You use that chest protector, smother that ball. So many catchers just want to stab at it, and that's the ones that get away from it.
Santangelo at second with 2 out. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Rondell White. And the fastball missed just inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Home plate umpire Jerry Davis didn't like that pitch. Donovan did. He didn't get the call. 3-2. And the ground ball to third is foul. Hey, how about that?
Nice play, huh?
Turn in the dry cleaning bill to the Cardinals, but it was well worth it. Well, kick save down the left field line there by Johnny, the usher man. 3 balls, 2 strikes on White. There's the go-ahead run. Santangelo at second with 2 out. Osborne still trying to get around that error. 3-2 pitch into center field for Langford. What a good job by Donovan Osborne. He got around that hit and error which started the night for Montreal. They strand their first of the evening, and after a half inning, with the Cardinals coming to bat, no score. A look at the Cardinal dugout as we get ready for the bottom of the first inning here in St. Louis. And a look at the Southwest Airlines starting lineup. They'll lead it off with Royce Clayton at short. Delino DeShields bat to the number 2 spot. Is he red hot? Delino is 4th in the league. Mark McGwire hitting 3rd. You know what he does. Ray Langford cleans up. Brian Jordan in right field with Ron Gant in left. Gary Gaetti at 3rd base. Eli Marrero's doing the catching and hitting .300. And Donovan's pitching and batting 9th. The look out at the left-hander, Mr. Animated, Carlos Perez.
Oh, he's toned down quite a bit since his surgery, but I think if he starts out here with a few strikeouts, we might see him shoot a few people, and his animation.
A look at the Expos defense. Vidro struggling at second base. They came in thinking that Orlando Cabrera would be their second baseman, but he had a dismal spring, so it's Vidro at second day in and day out for Felipe Alou as Clayton takes a strike. The numbers for Clayton: hitting .247. He has struggled of late, but did get a couple of hits against Curt Schilling yesterday when nearly clipped him. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's had great success against Schilling, and he continued that hot hitting yesterday.
Leading off, Clayton. Good breaking ball from Perez, a curveball for strike 2.
Perez, the same kind of guy. Got, you know, fastball splitter, got the breaking ball, and a curveball, as mentioned. Do you think sometimes that Donovan doesn't throw his curveball as much as you should?
Maybe so. I think he relies on the changeup a lot. There's a breaking ball from Perez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I think he's got a better curveball than maybe he realized.
Yeah, I agree with that. And see, if you get a left-hander, you got that breaking ball coming in on right-handed batters, then it sets up that changeup away.
2-2. Roy stays alive.
Talked to Bobby Cuellar today, pitching coach for Montreal, and talking about Perez, and said he's just got so much more inner ability than he has physical ability. And he really felt he was a tough competitor.
Felipe Alou trying to get the most out of this Montreal club as Clayton shoots it foul down the third baseline. Felipe Alou, I don't know if there's a more valuable guy on the management side in any organization in baseball than Felipe Alou. He always seems to get something out of this Montreal club, and they're an exciting team to watch no matter what group of athletes they throw out there.
Yeah, and you also got to say that, you know, he gives his players and his organization a chance at the major league level. You know, he doesn't feel sorry for himself. You know, he just accepts the fact that it's a very low payroll. It's always going to be that. As soon as we develop somebody with some good talent, they make too much money, they're gone.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Clayton leading off. That's the third for Shane Andrews. Gets the high hop and the throw, 1 away. So 1 down here in the first inning as Clayton is retired, and DeShields and McGwire. Now this has been a pretty good combination. DeShields hitting .390 and getting on base seemingly every time he comes to the plate, hitting in front of McGwire. What more could you want? Well,
we've said all along that in order for McGwire to have success, you have to have somebody hitting in front of him and somebody behind him. And it's good to see Langford behind him.
Shields takes a ball. An average of .390 for Delino, 4th best in the National League as he takes ball 2. He has yet to go deep. He's driven in 6. He's stolen 6. He has been caught 4 times, but he's doing a lot out of that number 2 spot in the order. That's a squirter, foul.
Ooh. And they have 3 triples on the road trip also.
How about that little cue shot down the line? It was just foul.
Terry Tata get a good look at this one. Coming right at him. Chalk it up. Look at the bounce.
The 2-1 pitch. Good fastball from Perez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Terry Tata, the third base umpire, had to get out of the way and remember if it was fair or foul.
Crew chief.
2-2. Full count with McGwire next.
You can see one thing here, Joe, already with Clayton and now DeShields, awful lot of pitches being thrown.
Clayton battled Perez. He did end up grounding out. Now again, it's a 3-2 count. This one to Delino, and that's headed for foul ground as Santangelo gives it a look, and he's out of room.
And that could become important as Perez may not be able to go deep in this game. The Expos lost yesterday 15-0 to Houston. They were swept. So, you know, then, and for the first time, the bullpen for a while was kind of struggling, and Urbina was scored upon, got the loss. That's news in itself.
There's a pitch just high for ball 4, and Delino is on again in front of Mark McGwire. This week on Baseball Thursday, Mike Piazza and the Dodgers head to Three Rivers to face the Pirates. Or Mark McGwire leads the Cardinals into Wrigley to take on the Cubs. Check local listings for the game in your area. McGwire and the Cardinals into Wrigley to take on the Cubs. Here we go, Al. It's only a couple of short days away. We're on our way to Wrigley.
Well, let's heat up Chicago with a sweep here at home.
1 on, 1 out. Mark McGwire at the plate. And a check on Delino. McGwire's hit 10, driven in 30, and he is not the league leader in either category. That belongs to Vinny Castilla of the Colorado Rockies. 1 on, 1 out for Big Mac. Ball 1 from Perez. McGwire trying to ignite this small crowd here at Busch Stadium and give Donovan Osborne a first inning lead. Another check on Delino. One ball, no strikes on McGwire. And it looks like Carlos Perez, Mr. Roboski, is a little hesitant to throw the ball to the plate.
Oh, and you know, sometimes little things like that just signal a weakness to a hitter. They say, hey, he's afraid to come to me.
That dropped low for ball 2, 2-0. Give you a look at the hit zone for Mark McGwire, and the only weakness, according to statistical data accumulated, low and away, yet he is a very good low ball hitter.
I don't buy that at all.
1 on, 1 out, 2 balls, no strikes. 3-0 from Carlos Perez.
You know, you can pitch him up and in. He is a definite low ball hitter. So, I mean, that should have been a blue spot up and in.
3 balls, no strikes on McGwire. Carlos Perez already walked 1 on deck. He is the left-handed hitting Ray Langford. Over the inside corner, 3-1.
I think you give that pitch again to Mack and he loses it.
DeShields on 3-1 at first is waiting as McGwire waits at the plate. In on his hands a bit, full count now. Nine of the 10 home runs that Mark McGwire has hit have been with men on base, and that is extremely important. Outside of the obvious factor. 1 on, 1 out, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner goes, and McGwire gives somebody a souvenir right below the booth. You see some guys, Al, that go along and they might pile up 25 home runs, and they'll drive in 58 runs or 60 runs with the 25 home runs and whatever else they may do. McGwire hits his home runs with men on.
Right. Very important, Joe.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Changeup as DeShields steals second. McGwire strikes out, and that's the second out of the inning. The ball popped away from Widger. I think most thought it might have been a foul tip, but it wasn't, and McGwire is the second out here in the first inning.
Center fielder Ray Langford.
Perez and his animation, there's what you're talking about.
So Carlos Perez gets rid of one threat, now deals with another, Ray Langford. DeShields at second or a 1-out walk. He ends up stealing second. It's his 7th stolen base of the season. And Langford takes ball 1.
In Perez's career, he's only allowed 3 home runs to a left-handed batter, and Ray has one of those.
And he has 1 home run. Ray does in 1998. His average at .393. And he's up on the count here, 2-0. Cardinals have 2 left-handed hitters in the top 4 in their lineup that now, and I think you can say this about Langford after what he did last year, as opposed to DeShields, who's always been good. These 2 left-handed hitters stay in so well against left-handed pitching. Doesn't bother them one bit. The 2-0. Broken bat, ground ball to Jose Vidro. Out at first, and the inning is over. So the Cardinals get a walk in front of McGwire. Then the stolen base. They strand 1, and after 1, no score.
Midwest.
A hot steaming pile of cheese on top of some corn chips, a Sprite, and we'll see you later, young man. Enjoy the ball game. Walt Jocketty, Cardinal General Manager, Red Shane Dienst. Those 2 are in high-level negotiations over in their booth.
Looks like Walt's going to have a little funning with a letter. Somebody wants to play general manager with him or something.
Everybody likes to do that every once in a while as Shane Andrews takes a strike from Donovan Osborne, and we're underway in the 2nd inning. Shane Andrews is hitting in the number 5 spot, hitting .212 on the year. All these Expo averages are just a little bit better than when the Cardinals were in Montreal. How about that play by Gaetti? 1 away. Took an extra base hit away from Andrews, and just for good measure, he got the out as well.
Well, Gary last year ended up with the best fielding percentage of any National League third sacker. And Andrews, who got that average up to .212, that was after a career-high 12-game hitting streak. There's a nice backhand down the line. Usually this early in a game, that ball does go for a double. You aren't anywhere near the line.
Now Fulmer walks in. Gary Gaetti continues his great play at third, as we highlighted back when we showed you the Cardinal defense still has yet to commit an error as Fulmer takes the ball low. I'd like to wish a happy birthday to Jessica Shook, celebrating her 12th birthday here this evening.
Happy belated birthday, Mr. Buck.
Well, thank you, Al.
Was it Friday?
It was the 25th, which was Saturday.
Saturday.
Saturday was my birthday. And we've all talked about it so much. It's becoming ridiculous. Fulmer takes a pitch low. Everybody, see, CJ put it on the video board at the vet. So then everybody saw it. And then every time I went down to the clubhouse, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Eventually, you just get tired of hearing about it, even though everybody's trying to be nice.
Okay, happy birthday, Joe.
2 balls, no strikes, and a good pitch from Osborne as he kept it down to Fulmer. 2-1. Jose Vidro will follow as Donovan now works into the bottom part of this Montreal lineup, which, even though the averages are up a bit, still, as that ball is fouled past first, you get down to the 6, 7, 8 hitters. You've got 286, 179, 222. Andrews, the number 5 hitters, hitting 212, and there's no mystery as to why these Expos are 7 and 16 and coming off a 3-game sweep by the Houston Astros in their own home ballpark. Houston, by the way, got 1 run in the 8th inning today, 3 in the 9th, and 1 at New York.
Beat Franco, and also Bernard Gilkey put on the disabled list with a fracture, the stress fracture of his elbow.
Cardinals will be in New York shortly.
Yeah.
Next weekend, it will be a long weekend up at Shea. Cardinals have a 4-gamer coming up at Wrigley. Here's the 3-2 to Fulmer. That's fair and well played by McGwire. Feeding Osborne to the bag, 2 up, 2 down, and that's 2 very good defensive plays here to start the inning. Well, Cardinal fans, don't forget on Friday, May 15th, the Cardinals play the Florida Marlins. It's Bud Light Cap Night at the ballpark. First 25,000 fans, 21 and over, with a paid admission. Get a custom-designed contemporary Cardinals cap featuring that new Cardinal logo. That's Friday, May 15th. Cardinals hosting the Marlins. cold night. It'd be a good night for a cap. I don't make any ball jokes. I'll be there soon. Here's a fly ball to center. Vidro off his bat into the glove of Ray Langford. And the Expos go 1, 2, 3. Sometimes, Al, you just don't want to go where the director tells you. No score. Second inning, no score. The Cardinals will send in Jordan Gant and Gaetti. And we give you a look at our Casino Queen leaderboard. Taking a look at National League extra base hits. Pretty much any category you check. These days, the Cardinals are going to be in the top 5 in the offensive categories. And Al, it's funny to look at the statistical sheets that were given and look at the league and start checking where the Cardinals are, not only as a team, but some of the individuals on the Cardinals and where they rank. There were a couple of years there where there weren't any Cardinals in the top 10 in any category.
You're exactly right, or if it was stolen bases or something.
There's Jordan shooting the gap in left center field. That ball is down and on this wet grass all the way to the wall. Jordan will coast into second with a leadoff double. Boy, has he been swinging the bat well, and he's adds to his .321 average.
Well, you know what he's doing, Joe, is so important is he's hitting the ball up the middle or to the opposite field. And if you start opening up like that, then you can make adjustments. There's a breaking ball, just kind of lazy, hanging over the inner half of the plate. And by taking it up the middle, it plugs the gap rather than being right at somebody.
So there's yet another extra base hit.
Yeah.
Dave Parker has done such a wonderful job with his Cardinal offense. Runner at second, nobody out. Gant gets the runner over as Jordan heads to third. Good base running by Jordan, and he's there with 1 out as Gant rounds out 6-3. Dave Parker has, I think, enjoyed his first year in a Cardinal uniform, and I know the opposite's true. I know the Cardinals have enjoyed having him in a Cardinal uniform for the first time.
Well, I think a lot of the guys, and of course he played with McGwire and played for Tony in Oakland, but I think a lot of guys have seen a different side of his personality and finding what a congenial person he is.
Runner at third is Jordan for Gaetti. The one thing about him, though, he's congenial, he's a jokester, he has fun. The one thing you can see about him, and he was truly a great player, the hard work. He is a hard worker, whether it's with these hitters on a day-to-day basis, as Gaetti takes ball 1 with the infield playing in. It's soft toss or working in the cage or just talking to him about hitting. He does it constantly.
Well, I think that's one thing, that if you're going to be on Tony La Russa's staff, you've got to be ready to put in many, many hours in preparation every day.
Gaetti trying to put the Cardinals on top, infield in, outfield deep. Runner at third, Jordan, 1 out. And Widger hauls in ball 2 with Marrero on deck. So this Cardinal lineup, Al, 1 through 8. Even with Osborne, a pretty decent hitting pitcher, they can send some lumber after you. And Gaetti, numbers for Gary, it's been an extremely solid start for Gary to the season, is hitting in the number 7 spot.
As a pitcher, sometimes you'll look at that lineup, you'll dissect areas and say, okay, here's outs. If I need to, get out of an inning, I could do it with this part of the order.
Now the infield is backed up as Gaetti fouls strike 1 away.
But as you said, with this lineup, when everybody kind of working together and complementing each other and sacrificing for the next guy for the team benefit, it makes it tough all the way through.
Cardinals trying to get a second inning lead. Jordan is 90 feet away for Gaetti. There's a high delivery, and Gary went after it 2-2. That was a pitch, and Perez just got away with a mistake.
Yeah, but it's almost that pitch where, it looks so tempting, but it's like if it's an inch or 2 down where he really is a mistake, and up a little bit, so tempting that oftentimes the guy will swing through it or foul.
Perez needing a strikeout. Gaetti shoots it down into the left field corner. It is foul. Foul by a matter of feet. We lose sight of it up here in the booth. Those seats that angle down in there. Let's take a look at how foul it was. Pretty well foul as it was hooking off the bat of Gaetti.
Gaetti, earlier in his career, had a saying for him, you can't throw the cheese by the rat. But I think now at this later stage, he looks for a lot of time for the breaking ball.
Jordan at third, 1 out. And another pitch out over the plate. Gaetti fouled it back. Gary looking for RBI number 8. Or better yet, home run number 3 and RBIs number 8 and 9.
This is going to be a good pitch for him.
That'll get the job done in the hole. Grassolonic juggles it, base hit, and the Cardinals take a second inning lead. What'd you see, Al, that you liked as they worked in that 2-2 pitch to Gaetti?
I said that he looks breaking ball frequently now, and that's what he got. Something off speed. And like a lot of guys, as you get older, you can throw fastballs up by them. But if you get something a little slower and it's down, then they've got a chance. It wasn't exactly the greatest smash, but it was effective enough to not only get the base hit, but to drive in the run.
Now Gaetti is on with 1 out, and with Marrero at the plate, a look at Gaetti at first. Gary has yet to steal a base.
You don't really think Gary is the type of guy that's going to steal a lot, but I think the Cardinals believe that they can steal off of Perez.
Marrero, the Cardinal catcher, is hitting .300. That's strike 1. Eli had such a big part in that Cardinal come from behind victory on Saturday night in Philadelphia. Not only getting a hit to help set up that 6-run 7th inning rally, but later he hit a 1-out double, steal third with 1 out, and he scored on a suicide squeeze bunt laid down by David Howard. 1 on, 1 out. That's into right center field. Will it be caught? Vladimir Guerrero over to get it. Boy, is he good in right field. And back to first is Gaetti. See a couple of good right fielders on display during this series with Guerrero and Jordan. And Vladimir took an extra base hit, maybe a run away from the Cardinals.
It seemed like the ball hung up a little bit. The ball was hit pretty well, and as you said, Guerrero get out there, and Eli begging for everything.
So now with Gaetti at first and 2 out, the batter is Donovan Osborne. It started with a leadoff double by Jordan. Gant moved him over. Great base running by Bryan to get to third on a ground ball hit to short. Osborne pops it up. Then the RBI infield hit by Gaetti. Shane Andrews takes care of Osborne, and that's the way we end the second. A leadoff double, a 1-out RBI hit by Gary Gaetti, and after 2 behind Osborne, Cardinals up by 1. We've played a couple here in St. Louis. The Cardinals out in front by 1. We move to the 3rd inning. Bottom of the order coming up for Montreal as Donovan Osborne heads back to work. For the true Cardinal fan, the Cardinals Magazine. There's the number to call if you're interested, 314-982-7336. It really upgraded that publication over the years. It's been a gradual upgrade, and this edition is better than ever. The Cardinals Magazine, that is the current issue. Filmed, taped seconds ago in our booth as the pitch sails up and away to Chris Widger, and we're underway in the 3rd inning.
Bushwhackers.
You got it, pal.
Okay.
That's low to Widger, 2-0.
Now this is the April magazine.
Yeah, this is the April magazine. It's still April.
It seemed like April's lasted about 3 months.
That's what happens when you start in March. Here's a pitch at the knees, 2-1.
One day, March 31st.
Widger, Perez, and Santangelo for the Expos here in the 3rd. Gary Gaetti, another good play to his right, takes his time, 1 out. You get a left-hander on the mound like the Cardinals have, you better be strong on that left side of the infield, and we've already talked about nobody going any better than Gary Gaetti at 3rd.
Exactly right, Joe. You got so many guys that, you know, are off-speed pitchers, like a left-hander off-speed. And in case with Osborne, you got his changeup and you got his curveball. Well, that left side is going to get so much work because guys are out in front. They're pulling the ball.
Here's Carlos Perez. He can't pull it. He pops it into left. A long run for Gant. Nice play for Ronnie Gant as he makes the catch. Headed for the seats down the left field line. 2 up, 2 down.
Very nice play, and kind of a tricky little play as you're navigating the new wall out there. And remember, you know, all the rain that you had, he knows that wall's coming closer, but you aren't sure when it's going to come. And then after he catches it, takes a glance there, but after he catches it, he's got to make a little bit of a left turn to avoid running into the low wall.
Think about a guy like Gant who has to go into that low wall. That top of the wall is about knee high. Ron Gant had surgery on each knee over the offseason. So I'm sure that was in the back of his mind as well as he made that catch. Now with the bases empty, 2 down, Santangelo, who bunted his way on back in the first inning, takes the ball low from Osborne.
Expos been clicking a little bit better offensively since they've switched the first 2 batters.
Santangelo pops it up. McGwire over by first base takes care of it, and that'll do it for the Expos. For Donovan Osborne, that's 9 in a row retired. 2.5 innings complete, 1-0 Cardinals.
Come back to the ballpark. You know, on a chilly night like tonight, there's only one way to enjoy the game. Come with me. We're downstairs, field level boxes, and we're going to go into one of the party suites. This is the way to do it. Folks enjoying Cardinal baseball, lovely temperatures. Hey! The bleachers are on the other end of the ballpark, philosophically and geographically. Let's go back upstairs to Joe and Al.
Thank you, Fred Rogers. All of a sudden, the Rammers waxing poetic here in the 3rd inning as he took us through one of the home plate suites, perfectly located on the field box level behind home plate. As we get ready for the bottom of the 3rd, 1-0, the Cardinals out in front. We give you that number so many times, but it's worth doing again as Clayton hits one into deep center field. Rondell White back near the track to haul it in. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 3rd. That number, if you are interested in those home plate suites or party suites and rooms, 314-421-3060. Cardinals are over 80% booked for the year, so there's still room. 314-421-3060. Look at that. Just, that's surreal. Hey, we're on TV.
Hey, Joe, they also available for rental on 15 dates throughout the season. Those are new ones right behind home plate.
Why does that happen? Why am I, there's something wrong with me, but why does it happen when you shoot something like that? Now it looks like there are 18 TVs back behind them. It's like one after another after another. Well, why does that do that? I don't understand that. The 0-2 to DeShields is chopped foul. Is it the rotation of the earth?
No.
Is it an optical illusion?
No. Go on, keep on going.
Is it? I don't know.
That's it.
Little chopper back to Perez. He will do his ridiculous antics and throw to first for the 2nd out. Al, what's your feeling on pitchers who have a little act behind the mound or on the mound? I mean, really?
I think it's ridiculous. I think you just get the ball, you throw the ball, and don't do anything. Right. Don't stall and don't do nothing. Because I played with Pascual, Carlos's brother, and he was 10 times the showman that Pascual is now, or Carlos is now.
Pitch low to McGwire, who struck out back in the 1st inning facing Carlos Perez. Base is empty. Whew. Wow, what a swing by McGwire. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Fox Sports Net is going deep, taking you past the headlines and inside the biggest stories. Join host
Joe Buck
for Going Deep, Sundays at 9 p.m. in most areas on Fox Sports Net. McGwire gets away from 1 up and in, 2-1.
And you've had a lot of fun with that show, haven't you?
I have. The most fun I had was sitting down doing a one-on-one interview with Mark McGwire. Base is empty for Big Mac. Up on the count. Even further now, 3-1.
And I might also say McGwire really enjoyed that too, didn't he?
Well, I just gave him a tape of it before the game, and he took it in the back and watched it, so he might be all pumped up for tonight's game. The 3-1 from Perez. A 2-out walk. Crowd doesn't like it. That's the second walk issued by Carlos Perez. 1-2 to DeShields back in the first, and now this one to McGwire. Keeps the inning alive for Ray Langford. Ray broke his bat back in the first inning with a runner at second and 2 out. Grounded out to second. So he's 0 for 1 and hitting .386. Langford just trying to get back into the swing of things, so to speak. For the most part on the road trip, he was a pinch hitter. Made the start in the final game, which was yesterday in Philadelphia. He was still a factor on that trip, though, Al. He came off the bench, got a couple of big pinch hits, including one to set up the 10th home run hit by McGwire on Saturday night.
Yeah, that's right. And just such a presence, and you know his manager really wants him in that lineup as much as possible.
I think what pleased Tony La Russa the most, though, is that the ball club was 5-3 while he was out with that hamstring injury. So they were able to get through it, play better than .500 ball, and now he's back healthy, and they took their time with the injury. Langford checks his swing, 2-1. And that's pretty much the same tactic with Matt Morris. Talked to Tony La Russa before the game about Matt Morris, and he's looking at the final week of May for his return. So a little over 3 weeks, but Morris is feeling good. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, you just have to be so cautious and protect these players. You hate to ever think that you brought a guy back too soon and caused a career-threatening injury or something of that nature.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Langford. Full count, and now McGwire will get a head start over at first. The numbers in his career against the Expos: 13 home runs in 85 games. Not bad. As Al mentioned, one of them against Carlos Perez. Wisely, they play behind McGwire, who will take off and will do it again. Cardinals 3, 4, 5, 6 hitters. Heck, throw number 2 in there as well with DeShields. Quite a threat to the opposition as McGwire goes. Langford strikes out. That will end the 3rd inning. Second strikeout for Carlos Perez. We go to the 4th inning here in St. Louis. Cards up by 1. We go into the 4th inning here in St. Louis with the Cardinals out in front by a run. The RBI for Gaetti back in the 2nd. And the Montreal Expos will have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters: Gressolanic, Guerrero, and Rondell White here in the 4th inning. And there's Mark Gressolanic. We are joined in the booth by somebody I grew up admiring. How does that sound to you?
Makes me feel old.
Yeah, I thought it might. Steve Alford is at the other microphone, head coach at Southwest Missouri State. Of course, former Indiana Hoosier. As Gressolanic takes a ball high, 1-0. I'm not going to ask you any questions about your coaching future or where you're going to end up. I'm not going to put you on the spot like that. As Gressolanic comes up empty, 1 ball, 1 strike. How were you guys this year? This was kind of a down year for you guys.
Yeah, it was a tough year. You know, we had a really rough start. Started year 6-12, and then ended up 16-16. So, really proud of the way the kids hung in there and fought towards the end.
Gressolanic comes up empty, a ball and 2 strikes. I would imagine you tell a lot of people you learned quite a bit about coaching, especially at that level, from Bobby Knight.
Well, I really did. I've been very fortunate. I kind of grew up in a basketball home playing for my father, and then to continue that under one of the best minds, if not the greatest mind to ever coach the game. It was a great experience playing there, and I learned a great deal about the game.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Gressolanic as that curveball missed from Donovan Osborne. Gressolanic hitting .245, 0 for 1 tonight. Now the count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Now you know that Bobby Knight and Tony La Russa are best friends.
Yeah, I know. A couple of years ago, I think, maybe my first year at SMS, I had a chance to meet Tony down in the dugout, and I knew he and Coach had done a lot of things together and been very, very competitive, been good competitive friends. And in fact, I think Coach was down at spring training earlier this spring when the Cardinals were down in the Florida area. So I know there's a past history there.
A leadoff walk handed to Gressolonic. That won't make Donovan Osborne very happy as Gressolonic is on for Guerrero, White, and Andrews. And speaking of competitive, I don't know if the entire country knows just how good the basketball is in the Missouri Valley Conference, but it's very good, and you are locked up in a tough battle year in and year out.
Well, it is. It's a very exciting league. We've got great coaches, great players, top to bottom, and it really is. It's very exciting. It's a lot of fun, but from a coaching standpoint, it's very demanding because you got to be on your A game every night out in our league.
1 on, nobody out for Guerrero, who flied to right his first time up. Tying run is on for the Expos to start the inning thanks to a leadoff walk. And Osborne brings it to Guerrero. That's into right for Jordan. A long run to get it. And that's the first out of the inning. So after the walk, Guerrero flies to right with 1 on, 1 out. The batter will be Rondell White. Now, I kidded you, and I'm not going to put you on the spot, but the good news is for you, at least things, I'm not going to ask any of that stuff, at least things have gone well enough for you to where other universities are talking about Steve Alford.
Well, it really is. You know, it's exciting. You know, and I think our fans are getting a better understanding of what it's all about. And I'm very flattered at some of the jobs that have opened that have considered me. And I think as a coach, you always look at all your options. And I've always said that every spring, one of my most major options, my first option, is always going to be SMS. I love it down there. It's a great area. They love basketball, and we've got a good thing going, a program that's really on the rise, I think, and that's exciting. But I think it is always better that people are talking about your coach at other universities in a positive way versus not looking at it.
1 on, 1 out, and another check on Gressolonic. Now, I said people might not know how good the basketball is in the Missouri Valley Conference. I know the country doesn't know how good the women's basketball program is at Southwest Missouri State, and if they don't, it's a shame because they're terrific year after year.
No, they really are. Coach Burnett and her staff does an outstanding job down there, and we've got a great following, and that's why I mentioned it. It's just a great area of basketball because the people come out and support both programs. They like to see good basketball, and it's been exciting to see what she's done with her program over the years.
Well, we always enjoy having you up in the broadcast booth. I know you like coming to St. Louis and checking out Cardinal baseball.
No, it's great. It's been in my family a long time. My father's a huge Cardinal fan.
1 on, 1 out. The 0-1 to Rondell White. Nicely blocked by Marrero. So good to see you, Steve.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it.
Best of luck to you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Steve Alford, head coach at Southwest Missouri State. And it's always great to see him coming by the booth and supporting Cardinal baseball. Al will now have to come back to work. A walk, a fly ball to right. 1 on, 1 out. 1 ball, 1 strike on Rondell White. As Osborne brings it to the cleanup hitter instead of check on Gressolonic, who has stolen 3.
Can't believe what Steve just told me. So he learned everything about b-ball from you.
Well, my first year at Indiana, he was super stud, having just helped win the national championship.
I know, but he learned everything he knows from you.
Yeah, right.
That's what he told me.
1 ball, 1 strike on Rondell White. 2 balls and a strike. Steve Alford is in that category of guys you root for just because they've been successful. They've played a sport with class, and they're just nice people. And Southwest Missouri State has a good one, and they obviously know that. 2 balls and a strike on Rondell White. Into center field, pretty well hit. Langford back to get it at the wall. Rondell White just got under it, and he's the second out here in the 4th inning. So that gave the folks a scare, but it's 1 on, 2 out now. With Shane Andrews walking to the plate, guest appearing in Cardinal baseball. Receive a gift certificate to Krieger's Pub and Grill, St. Louis's neighborhood bar and grill. Visit any one of their 5 locations. So I guess that means now Steve Alford will be headed to Krieger's.
Oh, sure. I was at the Worston Woods establishment not too long ago. Had a great time.
Here's Shane Andrews hitting .209. Grounded to third his first time up. He was robbed of what could have been a double on a great backhanded stab by Gaetti. Ball outside from Donovan. Andrews, while he struggled with the average, has not struggled with the power. He is hitting .209, but he's hit 5 home runs. One big 3-run home run against the Cardinals up in Montreal. That's right back up the middle. Gresolonic will take the turn, but hold on at second, where it's 2 on, 2 out. So Osborne allows his second hit of the night. First one to leave the infield, and now with 2 on, 2 out, it'll be up to Brad Fulmer.
Ball was stroked well. Goes down and gets it.
And there are the runners. The go-ahead run is on now at first, tying run at second, 2 out.
Well, this really, when you, as a pitcher, you had to really bow your neck and say, okay, I got the rookie up here. He's a left-handed hitter. I'm a left-handed pitcher. I just have to go right after him and make him the third out of the inning.
Fulmer grounded out to first his first time up, and he takes a ball. Brad Fulmer, one of many good young first basemen, rookie first basemen to come along this year. One of them, Mr. Minor League Player of the Year, Paul Konerko, is gone back in the minors for the Dodgers.
Hard to believe after we saw him opening day. We said, okay, this guy's going to be a good one. Didn't have an extra base hit when they sent him down.
A 1-0 pitch to Fulmer. 2-0. Donovan is working his way into trouble, even with a left-hander at the plate. Cardinals defensively have Gaetti well off the line. The outfield is straight away. The infield, for the most part, plays Fulmer to pull it, as he did his first time up.
Yeah, but they pitch him away.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Away, 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 and it's 3-0.
Where Clayton's playing, trying to keep Gresolonic close at second base, but boy, there's a great deal of hitting room through the vacated shortstop area. Usually if you're going to play someone that way, you pitch him in.
Donovan has yet to throw a strike. 3-0 pitch. Walked him on 4 straight. Well, that's not what you want to see out of Osborne with the left-hander at the plate. And now Jose Vidro walks in. Granted, a guy hitting 179 coming in, but you lose the left-handed batter, bad things usually happen.
Well, it's one thing if you walk him, but you got to go after the next guy and make him pay. Vidro really struggling. Talking about defensively, offensively.
Driven in 7. He is hitting 175, and he takes a strike from Osborne.
With a guy like Osborne, I think he would rather face a right-handed hitter.
There are the runners on. Gresolonic, Andrews, and Fulmer. 2 out. 1-0 Cardinals in the 4th. Another good pitch over the inside corner, strike 2.
Many times you see pitchers have the worst situation for them is when they have an 0-2 count. Do I go right after him, or do I fool around and try and set him up for the next pitch? And I caught in between with that mental thinking, and they make a careless pitch.
Here's the 0-2, bases loaded, 2 out, and blocked by Marrero. That saved a run from scoring as Marrero went down to block it. We've seen Eli getting better every day. He was a bit rusty when he first came back to the Cardinals after missing spring training with the operation to remove the thyroid gland.
But boy, this is what you have to do, and what a comforting feeling it is as a pitcher to throw a ball in the dirt and know your catcher's going to block it with that runner at third.
Bases loaded, 2 down, a ball and 2 strikes on Vidro. A hit could put Montreal out in front. Donovan stabbed it. It was headed back up the middle. Inning over. Osborne makes another good play and the Expos strand 3. They've left 4 on. Bottom of the 4th inning, Jordan will lead it off. 1-0 St. Louis. We get ready for the bottom of the 4th inning. Cardinals will come to the plate with Brian Jordan to lead off. Ron Gant to follow, and Gary Gaetti will hit third this inning. Cardinals out in front 1-0. And trying to add to their lead, which was nearly lost in the top of this 4th inning, as Donovan Osborne got into and out of trouble. Brian Jordan doubled and scored the only run tonight when he led off in the 2nd with a shot into the gap in left center field, and he scored on an infield hit by Gaetti. That's it. 4th inning, and Jordan pops one into right center. Coming on is Rondell White on the move to make the catch. 1 away. So Perez with 1 pitch takes care of Jordan.
Carlos Perez, 2 years ago, missed the entire season with surgery, then came out last year and made every single start, pitched over 200 innings.
There's a strike to Gant. Ron at least moved the runner over his first time up, and it was important as Jordan scored on an infield hit by Gaetti.
Joe, that was a good bit of base running there from Jordan, because, you know, there's that rule of thumb: you never go to third if you're the runner at second and the ball hit in front of you. And yet Jordan knew the ball was slow enough where he could get over there and get to third, and they'd have to make the play at first.
Gant has hit 5 home runs, driven in 11, but his average is all the way down to 200. Did have a great series up in Montreal, and he tests the shortstop Bresolonic, who kicks it to his left. He couldn't handle it. That ball was hit hard, and Gant is on. We'll wait to see how they scored. It's a base hit for Ron Gant. 1 on, 1 out with Gaetti coming up. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you in part by your local Dodge dealer, exclusive automotive dealer of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Midwest. By Pizza Hut, home of the new Sicilian pizza. Can you handle it? And by Auto Tire. Auto Tire, the home of bottom line pricing. Well, Gant is on with that hard hit ball up the middle, and now Gaetti. Gary hitting over 300. That 2nd inning single.
I have a feeling that Ron Gant gets a jump, they're going to want him to go.
Gant has stolen 2. He has yet to be nailed by any catcher. As Gaetti reaches up and hits one hard, but it carries out to Rondell White in center. Gaetti is locked in and hitting BBs all over the ballpark. That was a better hit than his RBI single back in the 2nd, but Gaetti's the 2nd out here in the 4th. It's nice to see Gaetti swinging it the way he is.
I got another changeup or something that was right there for him, and he hit that ball extremely hard and nothing to show for it.
Now Marrero. Eli was robbed of an extra base hit. A nice running catch by Vladimir Guerrero in right center. Back in the 2nd. Guerrero hitting .286. Cards have out hit Montreal 3-2. The Expos have been handed a couple of walks. They have those 2 hits, and they left the bases loaded at the top of this inning as Gant was flinching and drew the throw from Perez.
He was flinching because he was cold.
It's that kind of night. Perez keeping an eye on Gant. And we await the first pitch to Marrero. And they have Gant picked off. that Fulmer was moving toward the pitcher, and Gant got back. Where was Fulmer going?
I'm not sure.
I don't understand why he was running toward the pitcher.
He's breaking off and like, wait a minute.
Fulmer's new to that position, worked hard over the offseason to learn how to play first base. He's really made some big strides, but I don't understand where he was going there. So there's a break. And now the first to Marrero.
He was fooled just as much as Gant was, but Gant able to get back and Fulmer not. You know, he's trying to get over into fielding position, but instead of sliding to his right, he came in a couple steps.
So Ron Gant able to smile and relax after, I'm sure, an anxious moment. We await the 1-0 pitch to Marrero. Into center field. That ball's well hit. Rondell White is back on the track to make the catch and end the inning. 3 fly balls hit rather well to center. Rondell White took care of all of them. Cardinals leave 1. Each side is left 4, and after 4, 1-0 Cardinals. That gentleman came prepared. Fox Sports News primetime straight up. Couldn't fit it all in the sign, but we hope that Van Earl will appreciate the sign here at Busch Stadium. As we get ready for the 5th inning, we're through the first 4. Cardinals lead 1-0. 2 hits on each side, and Chris Widger, the catcher, leads off and takes a ball low from Osborne. Widger bounced out to third his first time up, hitting .219. Two balls, no strikes. Widger swings right through it, 2-1.
Let's hope this Donovan shows a little more stamina today. Cool night like this, you love to pitch.
Good pitch in on the hands of Widger, 2-2.
And that's where you like to throw in cool weather. You like to come in on the hands of the batter, because it stings.
Osborne trying to get the leadoff hitter this inning, which is Widger, with the hope that they'll have to make Perez swing the bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitcher on deck, waiting on a changeup, and just able to get a piece. Still 2-2.
I guarantee he felt that one. And Widger did miss the last couple games with a back strain.
Crowd is bundled up and quiet. As Expos are used to playing in quiet stadium. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3 balls, 2 strikes. A full count from Osborne, who worked his way into trouble by walking a couple last inning, but got around it. Had a nice play to stab a hard hit ball off the bat of Vidro. Thank you, Chris Widger. He just chased ball 4. Chin high, up, out over the plate, 1 away. Well, Cardinal fans, this break in the action is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Bud's for you. That's the first strikeout for Donovan Osborne as he took care of Widger. Chris is 0 for 2, and now the pitcher bats. Carlos Perez 2 for 11 on the season. And a ball from Osborne. To the right side and foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. We've seen Carlos Perez come up with some big hits against the Cardinals.
Yeah, he could swing the bat a little bit, and has a pair of home runs in his career.
One and 1 with Santangelo on deck. Here's a good pitch. Make him reach. 1-2. Perez able to check his swing as Marrero kept it at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Donovan has to keep in mind that if he grooves one here, Perez definitely has the strength to drive a ball here at Busch Stadium. Right center field is wide open for him, and that doesn't show much strength at all. Donovan Osborne should have walked it over to first, as Carlos Perez didn't bother to run. 2 out.
Left fielder, F.P. Santangelo.
That all the act and all the stuff that Carlos Perez is about really works well when you're winning.
Yes.
When you're not winning, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a record of 0-2. The Montreal Expos are struggling, and that act just wears thin in a heartbeat. 2 out, nobody on for Santangelo, who takes a ball.
Yeah, he could have.
People will tolerate a lot of things when you win, but when you're not winning, it doesn't look too good.
The 1-0 to Santangelo is a high strike with a fastball. 1-1.
Felipe told me he said his father, Mr. Perez, was a ball player in the Dominican, and he said he had the same type of antics. It's hereditary.
2 balls and a strike. Santangelo trying to keep this 5th inning alive. 3-1. Not much margin for error for Donovan tonight. Due to lead off in the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-1 on Santangelo. FP was trying to pop one out of here, and he fouls one out of play for strike 2, full count. Donovan Osborne had a chance to sit down with him after that second start he made this season, the one in Montreal. And he, I think, has as much confidence in his stuff as at any point that I've seen him in the big leagues. He feels like he's fully back, in other words, recovering from these injuries that have pestered him over the last couple of years. Right down the middle, Santangelo trying to work it for a walk. Instead, it's strikeout number 2. And after 4.5, here in St. Louis, the Cardinals still lead by 1. Fox Sports News, it's the last word with Jim Rome from Los Angeles and Wallace Matthews from New York. They tackle the tough topics and the top personalities in sports. That's weeknights after Fox Sports News. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports Midwest. The Cardinals trying to open up a little distance between themselves and the Expos here in the 5th inning. Donovan has been as good as we've seen him in a long while. He has shut out the Expos on only 2 hits through 5 innings. He's worked his way into and out of trouble once. That was back in the 4th, and he'll lead it off here in the 5th inning, trying to get something started. Osborne fouled out his first time up, and he's 1 for 4 on the season.
You know, Joe, you said some interesting things about Donovan and how his confidence level is so high. I think there are times when people around him.
Line drive into center. Rondell White. Well, the ball is really carrying here tonight. That thing wouldn't come down back toward earth, and Donovan lines to center for the first out here in the 5th.
And I think Donovan had people around him that were so much more confident in him, in his ability, than he was. And so it really is nice to see him really coming out and taking hold of the talents that he does have. That ball jumped off his bat, as you said.
I think Donovan thought he had a leadoff hit. Instead, he's back in the dugout, 1 down, and here's Royce. He takes a strike. Clayton tonight is 0 for 2. He's grounded to third. He's flying to center. His average is down to 241. Earlier on this season, it's obviously only a month old, the entire season, but Royce Clayton, even when he wasn't hitting, was getting on base. He's had a tough time getting there as he takes ball 2 in the dirt. Clayton's on base percentage coming in 340, which is like a little higher from your leadoff hitter. Royce is trying, working hard to get there. Tony La Russa's kept him in that leadoff spot, giving him every opportunity get hot again. Chasing that pitch, 2-2.
Now, chasing a pitch like that, he's not going to find it.
Perez on 2-2. Clayton stays alive. This Cardinal club is starting out a 3-game homestand, not just series, but homestand. And it is time to hit the road after this 3-game series with Montreal, and it will be a long trip. Clayton takes low, 3-2. Cardinals will head to Chicago, play the Cubs 4 games, an off day. Go to Pittsburgh for a couple and New York for 4. So it's a 10-game trip, 11 days on the road for the Cardinals. There's ball 4 as Royce Clayton worked the walk. The 3rd walk handed out by Carlos Perez, and that's nice to see.
Second baseman.
Our auto tire, what's on tap? Take a look at that schedule. Our next game on Fox Sports Midwest will be Tuesday, May 5th. Bob Ramsey and Al will bring you the action from Pittsburgh. Cardinals will play Pittsburgh too, and both will be on Fox Sports Midwest. That's on to New York, and then a great stretch at home. DeShields takes a strike.
Oh, what a shame. I guess I'll have to come home while you go to New York.
Might detect a hint of sarcasm in that sentence.
I just know how much you love New York.
4 games, too. 1 on, 1 out. The 0-1 to Delino. Instead, a check on Clayton, who has stolen 5.
Got to have some day games so you sort of become very costly.
Saturday's the day game.
Oh, that's a big, expensive dinner.
Here's the key to what could be a big inning. Delino DeShields with Clayton at first, 1 out. DeShields can reach. With McGwire coming up, Perez will have to come after McGwire, and it could turn into a nice 5th inning for the Cardinals. Numbers for DeShields, any way you slice them, are going to be good. Hitting .385. To the second baseman, Vidro. The flip for the out on the first. They got them both. 4-6-3, and nicely turned by Vidro and Gresolonic. First double play turned tonight by either side, and after 5 innings here in St. Louis, Donovan Osborne goes back to work. Still 1-0 Cardinals. There's a look at the Cardinal charge line. Lines are open until the end of the game, and we've been talking about it for a while. We know that lines have been long here at the ballpark. That's good and bad. Good for the Cardinals, bad if you're at the end of the line. You can bypass the line by calling 314-421-3060. Actually, the Cardinal charge line is 314-421-2400. Cardinal charge line is 314-421-2400. The lines will be open until the end of the game.
Apparently the weekends have been really, really busy, and so this is a good way to alleviate that.
1 ball, 1 strike. Gresolonic, Guerrero, and White, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Montreal. Good pitch from Donovan, strike 2. Donovan is in a battle here tonight with Carlos Perez, and he's trying to stay out in front. He's doing a good job. Had a perfect 5th inning after getting into and out of trouble in the 4th. Change up, and Gresolonic spoiled it.
Boy, how good was that after the pitch up and in? Get hitters trying to lean out across the plate and hit off the front foot. You're doing your job.
Another good pitch by Osborne, and again Gresolonic fouled it away.
And I like that. Threw the curveball there, and he shook off fastballs and changeups to throw the curveball. It gives you just another pitch coming in on a right-handed batter, and then you can get him out away. Of course, everything is key. Now he's a fastball up.
That is great pitching by Donovan Osborne as he rings up number 3, the first out here in the 6th inning.
See, you get that fastball, his changeup so good away, and with the fastball. And watch Morero. Now he's going up, so throw it up and in. And you'll get the pitch is going to be high, so it looks great, but there's no way you can hit that pitch.
How about the rookie catcher guiding Donovan through that final sequence? Even though he shook him off for that one curveball, that final pitch, right where Morero wanted it, and they got the result they wanted. Ball 1 to Guerrero.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just a learning process back there. The catcher's there to guide you and help you. That W or L goes behind your name, so you ultimately make the decision.
Wow, what a play by Osborne. He jammed Guerrero and then made the diving catch for the out. He's made 3 good plays off the mound tonight, Al, and one of them saved maybe a couple of runs back in the 4th inning. That is fielding your position well.
Well, he'll throw the ball, and then he really takes usually about a step over to the first base side. He gets a little sideways, and there he stabs the ball. The ball coming in on him, jamming the guy. He opens up with his hips, and then as far as he can reach to his right, he spears the line drive.
Breaking ball is inside to Rondell White. It looks like, Al, as we've gone through these middle innings now, this is the time when Donovan's bringing out the curveball more, as opposed to earlier more fastball changeup. Now he's mixing in another element for these hitters to think about.
And Joe, that is so important because oftentimes in the course of a game, your best pitch or an out pitch can change. And that's why you always got to stick with your stuff and keep on working with it, because later on maybe you're a little more tired and then you don't overthrow the curveball.
That's well hit into right field. Jordan on the move, on the track, just able to hang on to end the inning. Rondell White was headed for second base as Jordan gave us a look at the ball going in and nearly coming out of his glove. Bottom of the 6th inning, still Cardinals by 1. 6th inning, and a look at Brian Jordan, who in the top of this 6th inning gave us our Hoover pickup of the game, and I think everybody, mainly Donovan Osborne, a little scared.
Well, watch this. Watch the ball in the glove. And that's as good as snow cone, and a great job of balancing yourself and holding on to the ball. It was a good Hoover pickup.
And that's why you look at the wind working over that St. Louis flag. It is a cold, windy night here at Busch Stadium as McGwire will try to drive one through that wind, which is blowing in from left, blowing across the field from left to right. And that's why Jordan had a difficult time with the ball that he normally is just standing there waiting for. Just a little low to McGwire for ball 1. Heads up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, I think you'll forgive me if when McGwire hits a foul ball back here, I want to get out of the way.
Sure, I'll forgive you anytime.
Okay.
Especially in my condition.
There's our Southwestern Bell trivia. Who holds the major league record for home runs in April?
Said it last year.
McGwire, strike 2. Your answer, not the man at the plate. It's Ken Griffey Jr. with 13. He did it last season.
I think McGwire had 11 last year.
McGwire really chased a bad ball there, trying to talk the home plate umpire into it being a foul tip. That's not the case, and McGwire is 0 for 2. And the 3rd strikeout victim for Carlos Perez. I'll say one thing for that bat by McGwire. You don't see Mark usually go after those pitches in the dirt, and he went after a couple in that sequence from Perez for the first out.
Remember the first time he struck out in the first inning, ended up on a knee. And that's a changeup. The Cardinal hitters call it a changeup. Perez calls it a splitter.
Here's Langford now with the bases empty. To the outside corner for a strike. Ray has struck out and grounded out. Ball, 1 strike. Jordan will be next. Cardinals on that 2nd inning run still have that lead. Perez made it a little act and still tries to recover and got his man. Well, there's Carlos Perez with that little extra, and that little extra almost cost him a base runner here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, I agree with you. Little bouncer there, jumps up and tries to do his little act, as you said. Then he has to do a good job to get to it, scramble, and throw him out.
So with the bases empty, 2 out, here's Jordan. Ryan has been the only one to dent home plate here tonight. Leadoff double in the 2nd, and the RBI infield hit by Gaetti. 1 out later after Gant moved him over. That's been all. Good pitching on each side. We're 1 out away from heading into the 7th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals and the Astros each a game and a half out at the start of the day. Houston won today with a 3-run 9th inning. They won 4-3 at Shea Stadium over the Mets. The Brewers play tonight out in LA. Jordan into right center field. That ball is well hit. Rondell White can't get it. Up against the wall. Jordan will head to at least 3rd base. He will hold there as the throw comes back in. It's a 2-out triple.
Of effort by White and great hustling by Jordan. I was watching Rondell White chase that ball at right center, and by the time I saw the ball get down, I turned around and Jordan was almost at 2nd base. And you can dive, you can take the chance and dive for a ball here when you know your right fielder is right there to get the ball. It looked like Guerrero got clipped. Watch Guerrero, the right fielder. He kind of looked like he's limping there after White dove and went by him.
Now Gant shoots one into left center field. On the move, Santangelo to end the inning. F.P. Santangelo with the catch, then the dive, and the Cardinals lead their 5th of the night after 6, still leading by 1.
Fox
over there for baseball reasons, right?
Well, no, went on a military tour. Went to several bases in Germany, went to Bosnia, Hungary. I got turned over to the Navy. Went to Italy, Sardinia, Sicily, rode to Spain.
Shane Andrews is in the hole 0-2.
I actually didn't get a chance to listen to you during the World Series. I got the international feed. And I think the final Game 7 ended at something like 5:30 in the morning Sicily time.
0-2 the count on Shane Andrews. Leading it off in the 7th inning and taking a ball. Well, I'm glad you didn't hear me doing the World Series because I didn't do it.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I'm so loyal to you.
I know. Appreciate it. 1-2 pitch. Andrews just able to get a piece of that changeup. Shane Andrews was at the plate leading off in the 2nd and rocketed a ball down the 3rd baseline. Gary Gaetti, one of many good defensive plays we've seen here tonight. That's how the 2nd inning began. Now the 1-2 pitch. Hey, this is how the 7th inning starts. Andrews grounds to Gaetti. 1 out. That's what we call, Al, foreshadowing in this business.
Works for me. Now, is this the 2nd or the 7th? I'd bet the 7th.
This is the 7th.
Same result.
Okay, cue up the Fulmer strikeout. Fulmer's grounded out and walked. 1 out, nobody on, facing the lefty Osborne. He walked to load the bases in that dangerous 4th inning for Donovan. Starts him with a strike. Breaking ball stayed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fulmer was reaching, strike 2.
Joe, we start getting our starters to work in and through the 7th inning, deep in a ball game, and you'll see how some of the problems we've experienced in the bullpen will take care of themselves.
Osborne trying to figure out Brad Fulmer here with 1 out, nobody on in the 7th. A ball and 2 strikes. Easy for McGwire. The play taken by himself, and McGwire takes care of his counterpart Fulmer. Dave Duncan, you read the St. Louis Post-Dispatch today talking about some of the problems in the bullpen. Not worried about specific individuals, but worrying about trends that are developing down in the bullpen and trying to figure out ways to stop those trends from developing, such as pitch selection, overall approach by some of the guys down there. Here's a drive into right center field. That ball will not be caught. 1 hop up against the wall, and Vidro has a 2-out double. Jose Vidro was the man at the plate back in the 4th inning with the bases loaded, 2 out. He hit that screamer back to Osborne. Donovan made the play, and now with 2 out, nobody on here in the 7th inning, Vidro hits the 2-out double, and he's the tying run on.
Donovan got this ball up a little bit. Actually missed entirely with his location. Supposed to be away, and it kind of drifted back over the middle. Stayed up. 1 hop to the Coca-Cola sign. And time to retire Chris Widger.
Runner at second, 2 out. Widger takes a strike.
I think what Duncan was talking about a lot, Joe, was the fact that you're going to give up some runs, but the big multiple run innings are quite disturbing. Got to find a way to shut down the opposition.
Here's the 0-1. Now it's 0-2 on Widger, who is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. Donovan tries to strand a 5th runner for the night. Base hit could tie it. Vidro the tying run at second, 2 out. Ball and 2 strikes. Nobody warming for the Expos in their bullpen, even with the pitcher Carlos Perez waiting on deck.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Especially for Felipe Alou, who likes to use that bullpen, likes to stay aggressive.
But if you remember last time Perez pitched, we had a similar situation. Maybe he's desperately trying to get him a victory.
2 balls, 2 strikes. So the point being that even if Widger reaches, the pitcher, at least it looks like, will bat here in the 7th inning. Donovan got out in front, 0-2. And now it's 2-2 on Widger. Two balls, 2 strikes on Widger. Now 3-2. And it might come down to Carlos Perez against Donovan Osborne. That bullpen was worked over in the series against Houston for Montreal up at Olympic Stadium. Right now it's quiet in both bullpens here in the 7th. Here's the 3-2. Gets away, but not far enough for Vidro to advance, and now Carlos Perez will bat with 2 on, 2 out.
Well, after that count started drifting away, that's when Donovan really has to say, okay, I can't groove one to Widger. I gotta make the pitcher beat me.
Dave Duncan will make the walk out to the mound to visit with Donovan, as Juan Acevedo will crank it up for the Cardinals in their bullpen.
He's telling him, I need just one more out from you. You know, we can discuss whether you go back out in the 8th inning, but
Pitcher, Carlos Perez.
But the bottom line is he's got to come right after Perez and retire the opposing pitcher with 2 on, 2 out in a 1-run game. Expos have already left 4. And that's a good start to this at bat for Carlos Perez. Strike 1 from Donovan Osborne. I think you let this guy's antics and his energy level work against him here. Throw him a strike, you're doing him a favor. The 0-1 pitch. Like that, strike 2.
Keep on off the plate.
I think you would really do Carlos Perez a favor if you put it anywhere near the hitting zone. 2 on, 2 out, nothing and 2 the count. Osborne trying to keep this 1-run lead.
Bounce this one.
Good pitch, 1-2. An attendance of 24,548 here at the ballpark tonight. At least that's the paid crowd. Sure, some no-shows because of the weather. It rained most of the day, and it's chilly tonight with a lot of wind here at the park. 2 on, 2 out, 1-0 Cardinals in the 7th, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Carlos Perez, the opposing pitcher. Breaking ball, see you later. Had him bailing, and Donovan Osborne is through 7 scoreless innings. As we head to the bottom of the 7th inning with a score, Cardinals 1, Expos 0. Let's take a look at what's coming your way tonight on Fox Sports News after the game. For that, we take you to the Fox Network Center. But you automatically get through the door into round 2. Donovan Osborne talking it over with Alan Bennis, and it looks like Donovan Al is finished for the night with Acevedo cranking it up in the bullpen.
Well, I think he's done a great job, and you keep on extending him a little bit. You keep on putting him in a position where he can only get a victory. So you'd like to see him go a little bit longer, but it's still early, and he is coming back from injury.
Gary Gaetti will lead it off. Gaetti is 1 for 2, and he has the only RBI here this evening. Takes a ball. Gaetti back in the 2nd inning after Jordan had led off with a double, was moved to 3rd on a ground out by Gant. Grounded this breaking ball into the hole at short. Gaetti got a hit, an RBI. The Cardinals got a run, and now Gary is 1 for 3 as he grounds to Fulmer at first. And that's out number 1 here in the 7th. Here's Eli Marrero with a pinch hitter already on deck. So Osborne is definitely finished with Acevedo ready in the pen. Pinch hitter up next. Marrero tonight is 0 for 2, but he's hit the ball well twice. Donovan Osborne will end up going 7 innings, allowing no runs on 3 hits. Walked 3, struck out 4, and stranded 6. Also made 3 very good plays defending his position after letting go of a pitch.
Just a well-pitched game and well-played game all around.
Marrero chased one there, strike 2. Donovan Osborne has been better with each start.
Yeah.
And this one is best.
And
3-hit shutout through 7.
Gone a little further in each game also.
Marrero able to lay off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Marrero hit 20 home runs last year at AAA Louisville. 2 in the big leagues, and he grounds sharply to short. Bresolonic, low throw and safe. That's a good call by the first base umpire, Wally Bell. Fulmer came off the bag to scoop the low throw from Bresolonic, and that error will put a man on here in the 7th inning.
Well, Joe, it is a good call. There's a little hanging breaking ball. He hits it. Kind of goes up his arm a little bit, but he still has time to recover and make a throw. He didn't really have the proper footwork. You know, he doesn't have that good crow hop in there. There's an extra step, and that throws him offline. Now look at Grzelonic's frustration will show in the air. Yeah, that was a lot of frustration. Let's look at it.
1 on, 1 out for Hunter. Pinch hitting for Donovan Osborne. A check on Marrero. We've seen Grzelonic do that a lot, and not following the Expos day to day. But watching Grzelonic, seeing that little pad on his throwing elbow, I wonder if his arm's bothering him a little bit. He made one of those throws back in Montreal against the Cardinals. Hunter is tied up.
And you know what, Joe? Oftentimes, if you have a little tender arm, you know, you get in throwing position, then you go, oh, I know it's going to hurt, so you take that extra step. So maybe there is something to what you're saying. Like Widger got his finger whacked. Backswing. Follow through with Hunter, comes back and hits Widger. Oh. Well, there's certain guys, and the catchers all find out, you know, who's got really vicious backswings, and so you got to play a little, take a little extra step back further than you normally would.
The Widger hit, but all right, at least enough to continue. And now with 1 on, 1 out, the count 0-1 on Brian Hunter. Off the bench, trying to provide a spark for the Cardinals, who lead 1-0 here in the 7th. 1-1 from Carlos Perez. Told you at the top about the Cardinals' success here, not only record-wise, but thrilling moments here at Busch Stadium already this season. They have another tight one here tonight. The Cardinals leading 1-0. They can hold the drama. For me, I'd rather watch the Cardinals coast, but that doesn't seem to be the case here tonight. Great pitching tonight from Donovan. Another check on Marrero, who has a very small lead. Top of the order will bat for Felipe Alou in the 8th. Here's the 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike on the pinch hitter, Brian Hunter. An error has opened the door for the Cardinals. An error on the shortstop, Grzelonic, here in the 7th inning, trying to get something going against Perez. Through the hole and into left. Marrero will think about heading to third, but think better of it. An error, a single by the pinch hitter Hunter. And with 2 on, 1 out, Royce Clayton will walk in with a chance to add to the lead. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you in part by Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. If you depend on your car, depend on Dobbs. And by Steak and Shake. Extra innings, we're open 24 hours. Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. Well, they call RBIs steaks, ribeyes, ribbies. Maybe Royce Clayton can add to his total, which is 10. 2 on, 1 out, and Perez killing time again, trying to keep Marrero close at second.
Carlos, just look out in the bullpen. Nobody's warming up. It's your game. Bench, you're going to have to throw to the plate.
Clayton tonight 0 for 2 with a walk. 2 on, 1 out. And a ball to Royce. It would be twice as frustrating for Felipe Alou to have left Carlos Perez in to hit in the top of this 7th with 2 on, 2 out in a 1-0 game. To have him then come out in the bottom of the inning, struggle, and have to be relieved anyway.
Yeah, I really think that Felipe, in trying to get a win, was doing some things that he normally wouldn't do.
2 on, 1 out. Changeup is low. It's 2-0.
And when I say trying to get a win for Perez, you know, he's winless this year. This is his 6th start, and he hasn't won in his last 9 starts. But he's doing some things where I think he would sit there and, you know, obviously would have had a pitcher warming up to give the option where he could have pinch hit and tried to win a ball game for him that way.
Perez has to bring one to Clayton on 2-0. 2 on, 1 out here in the 7th. He can't find the strike zone. It's 3-0. Shane Bennett, a right-hander, getting ready for the Expos in their bullpen. But right now it's Carlos Perez working to Clayton. 3 balls, no strikes. Clayton taking all the way, strike 1. An error, a single. Carlos Perez is fighting to make it through this 7th inning. McGwire is in the dugout waiting. It's Clayton up now, DeShields on deck, and then Mark. But now Royce. 3-1 from Perez. Bases loaded for Delino DeShields. We've seen a little bit of everything in this inning. An error, a single, now a walk. One thing we haven't seen all night
Is the pitching coach?
The pitching coach from Montreal, that's one thing.
Bobby Cuellar, Felipe Alou's pitching coach, is slowly making his way out to the mound. Shane Bennett, I really hadn't had a great deal of time to warm up, so I don't think he'd be ready at this point.
Well, you would have to assume they would leave Perez in to at least face the left-hander DeShields. Delino, who is as hot a hitter as the Cardinals have, be looking to drive one off Perez and open up this game a little bit.
You would assume, but we've seen a few things from Felipe that you never take the obvious.
The Cardinals have loaded the bases, and it started on an error on a ball hit by Marrero. He's now at 3rd. A successful pinch hitting appearance for Brian Hunter. He singled through the left side. He's at 2nd with Clayton having drawn a walk at 1st, and here's Delino. One career grand slam for DeShields as he pops a foul back into the play. What I was going to say is what we haven't seen all night is the long ball for this Cardinal club, which has been pounding home runs game after game. As a team, the Cardinals have already hit 31.
31.
Bases loaded for Delino, the former Expo. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Joe, do you realize the Cardinals have scored more than twice as many runs as the Expos this year? The Expos have scored 69 runs, and the Cardinals have 143.
Only 1 here tonight, however. DeShields now in the hole, 1 and 2. Delino trying to put the ball in play and add to the Cardinal lead. This is the opportunity to blow this thing open. The chance the Cardinals have been waiting for, and they get it in the 7th. Cardinals lead 1-0. DeShields set up at 1 and 2. Laid off that high delivery, 2 and 2.
High pitch in the strike zone is one thing, but a high pitch out of the strike zone, that's a pitcher's pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes. That's down the left field line in a ton of trouble. That should empty him. Into score Marrero. Here comes Hunter. Clayton will score easily. Heading to 3rd, DeShields safe with a bases clearing triple.
great time for Delino to pick up that triple. And FP, who's well off the line, and off the bat of a left-hander, that ball's going to keep on slicing around away from you. So bad judgment there for diving for the ball. That guarantees that the bases are cleared.
Off the bat of DeShields, down the line, and Delino hoping that Santangelo couldn't get there. He could not. And with that scamper and that triple, the Cardinals have opened up a 4-0 seventh inning lead. Looking for their 15th win here tonight. Trying to go back to 5 games over the 500 mark. And that's going to be all for Carlos Perez. Shane Bennett will take over. Welcome to the ball game, Shane. Here comes Mark McGwire. DeShields is the hero of the moment. He continues his torrid pace here at the start of the season. With his bases clearing triple, he spelled the end of the night for Carlos Perez, who was, Al, not too happy as he headed back to the dugout.
Well, he got a hit. And now that solved everything, didn't it? Oh, I've been there. Hard for you to believe that, right?
I believe you. Carlos Perez not helped. That error by Gresolonic, and the Cardinals have jumped all over the Expos after Montreal helped them get started with that error. And the base hit by Hunter, pinch hitting, the walk to Clayton, and the bases clearing 3-run triple from DeShields, and now McGwire. That is fair. Down the line, in to score Delino. Mark McGwire will hold at first with an RBI single, and the Cardinals now lead 5-0 in the 7th inning. And for McGwire, RBI number 31. That didn't take long.
No, it didn't. And boy, is it nice to have a 5-0 lead with only 6 outs to get.
So for Perez now, Carlos 6 1/3 innings, 5 runs, 6 hits, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. Now look at that ball that just stayed fair. Off the bat of McGwire for RBI number 31. Langford now faces the right-hander and takes ball 1 low.
You know, Joe, you think about Hack Wilson's RBI record, 190. You know, McGwire still is just under what you would have to achieve each month.
Isn't that incredible?
Isn't that?
Langford pops it up. This ball's trouble. Shallow left field and falling for a base hit. McGwire will stop at second. It's 2 on, 1 out. Santangelo is sliding, diving, jumping, leaping, doing everything. But in this inning, he has not caught one on the fly.
Yeah, it looks good. Hitting is contagious. Here he comes sliding for this one. He didn't have a chance for that.
But now with 2 on, 1 out, Brian Jordan gets a chance to add to his RBI total of 15, hitting .333. As hot as Delino's been, Brian's been right there with him. 2 out of 3 tonight. He's hit 3 home runs. His 3rd came yesterday on Kurt Schilling. That's down the line and right, it's foul.
How often do you have a game like this where the Cardinals have more triples than they do doubles?
Cardinals have a triple from Jordan back in the 6th inning and the triple from DeShields in the 7th. This inning to clear the bases. Their 2nd of the night. Jordan has the double leading off the 2nd inning, and he came home to score on a hit by Gaetti. From Bennett. 3 balls and a strike with Gant next.
What you like about this game is what didn't happen on the road trip. The road trip, as the game went along, the Cardinal offense shut down. Now we're starting to see him pick it up on a tired starter in the bullpen.
Tough to turn 2 on Jordan. Gresolonic will get nobody. You talk about struggling. Gresolonic, 2 errors in the inning, and the bases are loaded for Ron Gant. Trying to turn 2 before you get 1, and there was no chance to get Jordan anyway on the double play.
There it is, and then when Pedro got the ball, he was 2 or 3 feet from the base, but it was too late at that time. Yeah, the ball wasn't hit hard enough to be a double play. When he backed up, he allowed the ball to play him.
Now Gant with the bases loaded. That is in the dirt, and McGwire stays put at third. Cardinals lead 5-0 here in the 7th inning. Cliff Polite will be on the mound tomorrow night to take on Dustin Hermanson, the hard-throwing right-hander. And then Wednesday is a day game, a 12:40 start. Left field for a hit. McGwire scores. They will hold Langford at third wisely. And it's 6-0 on a hit by Gant.
Well, Ronnie Gant's hit the ball hard all night. And now he's got a couple of hits to show for it. And his 12th RBI.
Third baseman, Gary Gaetti.
In walks Gaetti with the bases loaded. And this was a solid single off Gant's bat.
He hit the ball extremely hard, and he's done that tonight. Line drive to left field that he hit the last time, and the base hit before that.
Here's Gaetti with the bases loaded, 1 out. Takes a ball. Cardinals have already hit a grand slam at this park this season. I think you remember opening day against Ramon Martinez and the Dodgers. This swing and this result amounted to a game-winning shot for McGwire. Gaetti with the bases loaded takes low. It's 2-0.
Well, for McGwire, that was his 10th career grand slam, and Gaetti, standing at home plate, has 9.
Great speed on for the Cardinals with 1 out. And it's 3-0 from Bennett. He would have to think that Gaetti, if he likes the pitch on 3-0, will whack away.
6-0 lead, why not?
The 3-0 pitch to Gary. Caught the outside part, 3-1. Looked like Gaetti was taking all the way.
Well, that pitch he should have taken. If it was a strike, it was definitely not an area that he was looking for.
Bases loaded for Gaetti. Only 1 out, and that is hit into left field. Santangelo will come and get it. Langford will tag but stay put with that bad hamstring, and it wasn't hit that deep. 2 out. So Gaetti, who started this inning by grounding out to first, has that distinction of making 2 outs in 1 inning, which nobody wants.
No. 5 runs are already in on the inning, and you go, it's 2 outs, and I'm the only one that's made them.
Now Marrero with the bases loaded. Eli hitting .261, but tonight hit the ball hard twice, and it was the ball he hit to short. Bad throw from Gresolonic. The error that started this 5-run rally. Ball 1 to Eli. Cardinals lead 6-0. Marrero trying to unload the bases here in the 7th inning. 2-0. First time Marrero has hit in the big leagues with the bases loaded. He should get something to drill here on 2-0. Full cut, 2-1.
Hey, get your shoes back on. Got a little excited. He knew that this was the first time, and so he's looking. I'm looking for a perfect pitch. 2-0 count. I'm gonna hit a grand slam.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
But that back foot looks like it's flying out of there. He's out of control.
So from 2-0 to 2-2. I would think Eli would cut down on the swing a little here. Bases loaded, 2 out. 6-0 Cardinals. Great play by Widger to save that. 3-2.
Oh, yeah, you're back there and you're anticipating a pitch in a certain area. Well, you know, sometimes those pitchers miss it by such a wide mark. You know, you go, what were they thinking?
So the runners will go with the bases loaded, 2 out. This is action central. Marrero will try to chase him home. That's foul and headed for the seats. It's out of play. Do it again. Shane Bennett has had a long inning since taking over for Carlos Perez, who got only 1 out, the lead man in the 7th inning. And then left after the 3-run triple hit by DeShields. The biggest swing of the night. Again, the runners go, and Marrero strikes out. Little juiced up with the bases loaded. Eli ends the inning, but the Cardinals come up with 5. And after 7, lead by 6. Well, between innings, Tony La Russa decided that with the score being what it is, 6-0 as we move to the 8th. Tony La Russa had a quick meeting with Rene Lachemann, who for the last couple of minutes has been standing over at third base with Ray Lankford, and I think they both agreed that now would be the time to take Lankford out with that tight hamstring on a cold night in a game that you hope is all but over, and get somebody else in the outfield and save him for another day.
Yeah, I think that's a very wise decision. You know, it's cold. You know, this is the time you can re-injure it. You're on a wet track. It's got to be a little soft. So Brian Hunter, who pinch hit the inning before, will stay in the game, play right field. Jordan goes to center, and Juan Acevedo comes in to see if he can close out these last 2 innings.
Acevedo has really been a find in that Cardinal bullpen since last Sunday, a week from yesterday, pitching here at Busch Stadium against the Phillies, coming in that 3-2 game with the bases loaded, nobody out, and going right through the heart of the Philly lineup.
And Joe, you know, you look at Hunter out and right as Jordan moves from right field to center. You know, you're going to have to sit there, and some of these guys in the pen are going to have to say, forget about the ERA for a while, because it's going to always appear to be high, but I'm going to get you some outs.
Donovan Osborne got some outs. 7 innings, no runs on 3 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. He was terrific. And F.B. Santangelo leads off the 8th inning and fouls away a Juan Acevedo fastball for strike 1. Acevedo will work to Santangelo, Grzelcyk, and Guerrero. Can't catch up to that. Strike 2.
Well, if you remember, when we acquired Acevedo, Walt Jockey said he's got a great arm, but we want to subtract pitches. He throws way too many different pitches.
That should be the first out. Somebody's going to have to fight the wind. It will be Delino. 1 out.
And what they have asked him to do in the bullpen role is, hey, even simplify it more. You're just coming in as a short setup guy. You've got a mid-90s fastball. Use it. Don't be trying to trick people. Don't be tricking yourself by throwing a pitch that's easy to hit.
Here's Grzelcyk. One out with the bases empty. Marked with 2 errors in the bottom of the 7th inning. One very costly error, which started the entire rally. Strike one. Strike two.
Pounding fastballs in there. Now, he's so far, that is the lowest velocity of his fastball. It's been from 90, 91, 93. There's a breaking ball.
And there's out number 2.
But you do it when you're ahead in the count instead of falling behind in the count, and then where they can set on fastball or something. But if you use that fastball like he's using it, it's only going to get stronger.
To me, and I liked it at the time, I think you did, we were together in Bradenton, Florida when the Cardinals announced they'd picked up Acevedo. This is a flat-out steal. I mean, where do you find guys that can come out of the bullpen and blow it past people in this day and age with all the watered-down pitching?
Yeah, and remember here, the Cardinals use a slow gun. There's a fast and a slow gun.
Vladimir Guerrero, who can catch up to anybody's fastball, having trouble there. That's strike 2.
93. So where the slow gun is going to be 3 to 4 miles an hour slower than the jugs gun, the fast gun that you see all these high radar readings. And the way I'm hearing some of these high radar readings, I think they came up with a faster gun.
Two out, nobody on, and a little punch into left field for Gant. That was quick and easy, Al, and that's the way you like it from Juan Acevedo.
He can do that because he has that power.
Acevedo gets through the 8th inning. Cardinals lead it by 6. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you in part by Budweiser. Brew Refresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. By Southwestern Bell. Go wireless with someone you know. And by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. Fly Southwest. Double switch as we get into the bottom of the 8th inning. Steve Klein, the left-hander, is on the mound for Felipe Alou. Numbers for Steve Klein, and you heard a cheer go up from one part of the ballpark, and that's because taking over in left field, East St. Louis, Illinois product, Duran Stovall takes over in the outfield in the double switch.
He was a part of the Cardinal organization, and he was traded with Brian Eversgerd, who's back in the Cardinal organization, pitching at Memphis. He went to Montreal.
Real Cormier, the other piece of that, to get Ken Hill a couple of springs ago. Here's Hunter. He takes a strike from Klein. Hunter's already 1 for 1, hitting .229 on the year. Delivered a key pinch hit single in the 5-run 7th. That's strike 2. It'll be Hunter, Clayton, and DeShields. Anybody gets on McGwire. That's foul. Hunter's been a nice addition to this ball club. I think he's given the Cardinals what they thought, at least hoped for, when he had that good spring.
Well, he's had a chance to get some at-bats, 35 at the time, and so that helps him out.
A little dunker into center field for Rondell White. Makes the catch, 1 away.
Yeah, Joe. And
Al, hold that thought, because right now our U.S. Postal Service's out-of-town score. Houston got 1 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th to beat the Mets 4-3. Cincinnati took care of Philadelphia. Colorado out in front in the 5th inning over Florida. And you look at the second page of scores, which includes Milwaukee at L.A. Brewers lead 1-0 in the 3rd, facing Chan Ho Park.
Say that Hunter, you know, had the good spring and won the job over Vince Coleman and Wayne Kirby, but both of those guys are having very good starts at Memphis.
Heard a couple of guys when the Arizona Diamondbacks were here saying that the Diamondbacks, as Clayton gets into one into left field, over the head of Stovall, one hops the wall, and Royce has a one-out double. I know there's a lot of interest on the part of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And Vince Coleman, who is playing so well at AAA Memphis and has a home out in Arizona.
Sure. Second baseman, Delino DeShields.
Here's DeShields, who delivered the key hit. Bases loaded, 3-run triple, and later a run scored in the 7th inning. Looking to drive in another. A strike on the outside corner from Klein. Here's our Discover Card payback playback. And it's this drive down the left field line, slicing away from Santangelo, which emptied the bases last inning. That'll send Clayton over to third. There isn't much going right tonight for the Montreal Expos, at least here in the last 2 innings. Now the RBI chance even easier for DeShields.
So many wild pitches come on breaking balls from left-handers, and that was a relatively easy ball to be blocked. Richards made some good plays, but he didn't come up with that one.
2 balls and a strike from Klein with the infield in.
Okay.
Runner at third, 1 out. I think you're surprised that the infield is in at this point in a 6-0 game.
Yep.
Won't be in when McGwire bats, I promise you that. 3-1.
If they're ordered, they won't be in.
They will refuse. Shane Andrews will be in a revolt.
That's the old
baseman.
The old story, get all the married men off the infield.
3 balls and a strike. Runner at third, 1 out. Shields, full count. First inning of work for Klein, who picks up for Bennett, who did not fare too well last inning. The damage was done when Perez exited this game. There's ball 4 to DeShields. Mark McGwire walks to the plate with runners at the corners, only 1 out.
First baseman, Mark McGwire.
I would imagine a lot of these fans, if they're still here on a cold night, have been waiting around to see this final McGwire at bat.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, you can imagine, you know, they mathematically figure it out. If McGwire has a chance to bat, they'll stay.
First and third, 1 out. Now the infield is back, and McGwire out in front of strike 1. Larger-than-life hometown hero. The city that's adopted him, watching as McGwire watches a throw go to first. There's the situation with the outfield deep, the infield playing McGwire to pull with his left-hander Klein on the mound. Mark McGwire looking for home run number 11. To right center field, slicing to Guerrero. That'll get a run in. Guerrero's got a great arm, but no chance to get Clayton, and that makes it 7-0. A 2 RBI night for McGwire. He's driven in 32. And just for good measure, if the crowd is waiting around to see McGwire do this with runners at the corners, they'll get a chance to stay around for another batter and watch another one of their favorites, Willie McGee, hit for Acevedo. And a ball from Steve Klein. So McGwire with 32 RBIs. The Cardinals play in their 25th game. McGee into right field, well hit, but Guerrero is there, and that'll do it for the Cardinals. They get one, and after 8, with Kent Bottenfield walking in to finish it off, Cardinals lead Montreal 7-0. Here's our game summary, brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This bunch for you. Donovan Osborne turns in his best outing of the season. Delino DeShields, the key swing of the bat tonight. The 3-run triple in the 7th inning to break it open. Brian Jordan extending his hitting streak to 8 ball games, and he is 2 out of 4 with double and a triple tonight. McGwire gets the rest of the night off. He'll sit out the top of the 9th inning. David Howard takes over at third base. Switching over to first is Gary Gaetti. And the Cardinals have a new pitcher as they bring in the right-hander, Kent Bottenfield.
Kent close this one out. He's already appearing in his 12th ball game, so he's shown a lot of durability. And he did that last year. He's pitching for the Cubs, appearing in 64 games, a career high.
Cardinals gunning for their 2nd shutout of the season. Leading 7-0 here in the 9th inning, and for Montreal, it'll be Rondell White, Shane Andrews, and Brad Fulmer against Kent Bottenfield.
You can see how the starter goes 7 innings, how everything falls into place.
I think you're starting from a pretty good base out in that bullpen with Acevedo and Bottenfield, and Brantley's getting better every day, and he's really excited about the way he's throwing it. Here's a shot into left center field, a leadoff hit for Rondell White to start the 9th inning.
Let's get that double play now. Set him up for double play.
So the leadoff man is on for the Expos here in the 9th inning. Of course, following the game, Fox Sports News, Tar Heels lose their ace. Tim Duncan is the Rookie of the Year, and the NBA playoff action, well, there's plenty more on Fox Sports News, which comes up shortly. 1 on, nobody out for Shane Andrews. And a strike from Bottenfield.
Yeah, go back to your point that you're talking about. There's some real good arms in the bullpen, and I think that you saw a little bit more each time out with Brantley. His success against left-handed batters, because he's got that, you know, he's got the fork ball to neutralize them.
Hey, we saw him on Sunday morning after that Saturday night save against the Phillies, and he was thrilled with the way his fork ball fooled Greg Jeffries, one of the toughest to strike out. Here's strike 2 on Andrews as Bottenfield blew it past him, 1-2.
So he's going to be all right. He can get out both right and left-handers. You got Bottenfield and Acevedo with good fastballs. And we know it's just kind of a little funk that Frascatore's in. He'll work his way out of that. Painter has got much better stuff than a lot of left-handers, and just needs to get a few scoreless innings under his belt. Pekizik's Pekizik.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. He did not go, says Wally Bell, the first base umpire, and the count 3-2.
And I think Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa have gained an awful lot of confidence in Busby. As long as he's used with proper rest, I think they really like what they've seen there.
So a 3-ball, 2-strike count on Andrews. A hit and a walk. That's not a good start to the 9th inning for Bottenfield. And now Brad Fulmer, a tough left-handed hitting first baseman, walks in. Kent Bottenfield, when he got it back from Marrero, caught it barehanded. I think that tell you how happy he is with the way he's throwing it here in the 9th inning. Two on, nobody out. There's a good pitch from Bottenfield. Strike 1 to Fulmer.
You know, so often when you come into this situation, you know, it is sort of a blowout game, but you got a lot of pride where you sit there and go, hey, I want to be part of a combined shutout. And that's some of the inspiration.
Strike 2 on Fulmer. Bottom of the order now, and Fulmer, who is hitting .279, but has tapered off since a red-hot start. He's set up at 0-2 with Vidro to follow, and then Widger. Anybody after that, Stovall, Duran Stovall, will get a chance to hit. That's well hit into right field. Back to get it is Hunter, feeling for the wall. Makes the catch. Tagging and moving to third is White. 1 out here in the 9th inning.
Second baseman, Jose.
One thing we didn't see a lot of during the spring from the Cardinals was how Brian Hunter would play the outfield. And he has played the outfield extremely well.
I was thinking the same thing, that I think we all felt at best he'd be average. And yet he's shown that, and I think a lot of it has to do with the physical condition that he's in. A lot more mobile. And that play he made in Montreal, remember the final out of the victory a week ago, diving catch and shoot top catch he made in left field.
First and third, 1 out for Vidro, and a strike from Bottenfield. A leadoff hit, then a walk to Andrews. Fulmer flying to deep right. Vidro, the switch hitting second baseman, goes after one upstairs. Strike 2.
Really want to strike out here. You want to preserve this shutout, or get that ground ball double play and end it that way.
Marrero's had a good game behind the plate, helping with Donovan Osborne through 7. There's the double play ball. DeShields flips out. This game's over. Cardinals win 7-0 and start out this 3-game homestand in fine fashion. And even though we can talk about the offense, let's talk about Donovan Osborne building with every start and getting better each time.
That's a great starting point, because he went out there. This was a one-run game for the most of it. It wasn't until you got the 5 runs in the 7th where it became a blowout. But Donovan Osborne deserves an awful lot of credit for pitching very tough in a one-run game.
He will get his first win of the year. He's now 1-1. Carlos Perez gets the loss as the Cardinals now move to 15-10, and we'll keep an eye tonight on the Brewers playing at LA. For Al and Bob Ramsey, this is Joe Buck. Good night. Fox Sports News Primetime comes up next.